Hey everyone, this is your host Brian and welcome to episode 23. Today's topic, mascots. I have proof that Gritty, the Philadelphia Flyers' insane orange mascot, might just be the Zodiac Killer's successor. Find out about all that and more on this week's episode of the Pause Button Podcast.
So what's your evidence?
His eyes, the way he looks at the camera.
Yeah, he's pretty creepy.
It screams I did it, and I'm proud of it.
It kind of reminds me of looking into Chuck E. Cheese's, the robot Chuck E. Cheese eyes, like we were looking at the other night.
He is one animatronic away from just creating the reboot of Five Nights at Freddy's, man.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what Five Nights at Freddy's was based on, so makes sense.
Yeah.
The creepiness of the animatronics.
I don't know. I do like him though, in a weird way. He's enjoyable.
The Philadelphia Flyers mascot?
Yeah, his name is, I already forgot it. What's his name?
Didn't you say it was like
Gritty?
Gritty.
Gritty. He's got some grit.
I don't like that name for a mascot.
I don't like.
Oh, you're not gonna like how he looks either.
Oh God! I just pulled up his image. Yeah.
He's killed people, man.
Well, I think he specifically probably strangles them.
He might be a little coked up too. You never know.
Yeah. And then he probably Cookie Monsters their head, where he's not actually eating it, but he goes rah 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 rah. Like that.
They just find it mashed up at the scene of the crime.
He was here.
Yeah. It must have been Gritty. It's diplomatic immunity, though.
That could be one of our CSI Miami openings.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's he chewed on the head. He would have to chew on the head of like some, say like Usain Bolt dies or something like that, and the guy's like looks like he got a little ahead of himself. Yeah.
So, speaking of some interesting names, we of course have our own interesting names. Who's first?
I'm the Sunshine Hero Pat.
What makes you a hero? Did you stop Gritty? Did you catch him?
Maybe. Or maybe a real hero doesn't brag about the deeds they do.
All right. So that's our first person here. Our next person we want to head over to...
It's me, Devante. I am here.
Don't you have a fun name?
I guess. I'm the retro guy.
Don't you want to have
hero,
fun?
Let's go. And Devante's like, I guess.
And I'm
Moving
Joe.
on to...
I am the Ravioli Rascal.
Oh, man, they keep getting better and better. I like them. That's a good one.
I remember when you used to react that way to me.
No, it's the norm.
Just wait for him to say he's going to come up with something next week. Just wait.
Well, before we get to me, we got one more person.
It's me, Tom, the tech man.
I thought it was the tech guy.
No, it's
He's a man now.
Oh, you're
He had a bar
congratulations.
mitzvah.
Bar mitzvah. And I'm Brian, and I came up with a introduction for myself.
It's got to be worse.
Oh,
Most definitely.
it's great. You guys ready for it?
No.
Are you sitting down?
Yes.
I mean, we kind of have to.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
What?
So, your host on Lake Michigan's coast, the skilled talker on his way to a gilded Oscar, an excellent podcaster and all-around master, Mr. Pause Button himself, Brian.
No,
Wait,
we're cutting that.
it's still the same name, right? You're still Mr. Pause Button.
Yeah, you just added a lead
A
up.
longer intro.
Yeah, but
These
I dressed it
episodes
up.
don't need to be longer. We have live.
You didn't even
Brian.
change your name.
I also thought of maybe the Friendly Neighborhood Podcaster, but I'm sure somebody's got that one.
I don't know if they do.
Does that one work? Do you like that one?
I don't know. It's better than all that.
So do we tear down this newfound ego, or?
Let it be, man.
I've been attempting to do that since we were in 4th grade.
I'm like a what do they call those things? Oh, a weed in your lawn. No matter what you try to kill me with, I will continue to grow back.
Then I
Just
will
giving
rip you out at
middle
the
finger.
roots.
I really appreciate the struggle you had to think of the word weed. One of those things. A weed.
I wanted
Brian's
to say
never
root.
done
I'm
manual
like,
labor.
I worked grounds crew for 2 summers, sir.
That's true.
It was terrible for my allergies. Terrible.
Didn't you fall asleep on the job there?
Okay, so our next bit of information is we're going to talk a little bit about streaming just for a second because we're planning it and it's almost set. We're almost there. We got some things moving there, so be on the lookout for us on Twitch soon. Should be exciting.
And when it inevitably is a little bit rough at the beginning, just know it will get better with time.
That's the hope.
That's how things usually go. Also, we have a new segment today. I'm really excited about this one. It's called Bracket for Debate. So I've created a bracket, and we're going to debate about it and have a winner. And we're going to stretch it out over a couple episodes so we can build some anticipation here. And, you know, we don't have sports going on, so now you can listen to us argue about random stuff. And this one is about movie soundtracks.
Cool.
So, are we ready for we're going to do 4 of those. We got 16 total. We're going to do 4 of the movies today. Are we ready?
Aw, sweet.
Sure.
All right. So, our first one, you know, I got to take the veil away from the... Yeah. I did the math wrong. I thought 4 movies meant 4 matchups. 4 movies means 2 matchups. So, yeah.
Okay.
Why would it not?
Oh boy.
I did not think about that.
How many movies do you think are in a matchup? Do you think it's just one movie?
No, I just didn't think
And then you're just
about
like, yeah, that one goes on.
It's okay. He worked in a bank, was not good at math.
it. Yeah, it was a shit show, man. So, we got our first one. You guys ready for our first 2 movies?
Yeah.
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 Okay. So let me get I have my calculator open. I don't know why I opened my calculator. I gotta open the time.
What?
Bro.
Start.
Okay.
I have the timer. I don't.
We're good. All right. Okay. So the first movie is Blues Brothers, and the second one is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Go.
Timer start.
Definitely Blues Brothers.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
Brother,
I
Where
said
Art
Blues
Thou
Brothers,
has a couple of standouts, but definitely Blues Brothers just this consistent. I mean, Blues Brothers is at its core like a musical comedy. It's like not a consistent musical, but it has a lot of musical numbers. It's just I would say it achieves what it sets out to do and creates a lot of really great and fun songs and covers a lot of great and fun songs.
I mean, I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I do really like the Blues Brothers soundtrack. But Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is like a perfect time period piece of just like, this is what music was, you know, in like the rural America in the early 1900s and all like the church hymns and all that.
But did
really
they
good
have
stuff there.
Aretha Franklin?
Oh.
Or
Yeah.
Ray Charles.
Yeah, they don't got Ray Charles either. Or that 7-minute version of Sweet Home Chicago.
Yeah.
You don't notice it's 7 minutes, man. It just keeps going, and you're like, let's go. And it gets the trombone solo, and like, you just see them sneaking out the trap door in your head.
Both soundtracks are really good.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
just feel like Blues Brothers, it achieves its goal.
The 16 that we picked are all really good, but
That mall scene is just one of the most memorable.
what's the name of that song that when they're in the mall?
I can't remember because you know me. I can't remember the names of
I
songs.
forgot the name of it too. I feel ashamed.
GG.
Documented well on this podcast. I don't know music.
Tom,
It's
you
a
said
really
it.
good song
Think.
though. I love that one.
Stop.
All right, so we're almost at 2
No,
minutes.
I know.
but we
I
all
know
agree.
what you're trying to say, but I God damn it.
Yeah, I think we all kind of agreed on the same ones. That's
Unanimous, 5-0.
Yeah.
Blues Brothers wins and moves on to the next round into the Elite Eight.
And with the time just about to end.
nice.
There you go.
All right. The next one we have is The Big Lebowski versus Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Go.
Timer start.
I'm gonna go. This is a hard one for me. I really love the Big Lebowski soundtrack, but I'm gonna have to go with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
It's the same here. I I love the Big Lebowski soundtrack. The opening with "The Man in Me" by Bob Dylan, with the bowling ball and all that, and what's the Kenny Loggins song? Just dropped in to see what my condition was in. It's an amazing song. It's used great in that scene. But Guardians 2, I mean, like, dude, Lakeshore Drive alone, that song is just perfect.
Yeah, and it's starting the movie off with Mr. Blue Sky. I mean, you can tell James Gunn like really has this very deep understanding of what songs flow with what scenes very well, and to get the feel he wants to for Guardians. I don't know. That's my vote. What does everyone else think?
I'm gonna go with Guardians too.
Yeah, I would do the same.
Yeah, as much as I like the Big Lebowski, I mostly like it for its acting, not its music soundtrack.
Yeah, there's.
True.
I can think of a few songs from Big Lebowski that are just really good, but when you go in with everything that Guardians Volume 2 has, like, I will listen to that soundtrack just casually without watching the movie, and I don't really do that with the Big Lebowski.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true. I mean, that Spanish guitar version of Hotel California is great, but it doesn't have "Bring It On Home to Me" or Brandy's such a good song.
Yeah, that's a very
Chain.
good song. Underrated.
They use the chain twice in different ways, and it's perfect. The ending with father and son with the fireworks in space. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So looks like so far we don't have any arguments yet, but we'll have to see how this goes.
like
I'm
we're
sure
all
once
friends.
you also start to get the stuff that have moved forward going against each other, you'll get to see a little bit more debate.
Yeah, we got some other interesting ones here. It looks like we have hit the time limit. But just to give a tease for next week's episode, or the next episode after this, we have a very interesting mashup of Space Jam versus Baby Driver. So we'll get to that one and another one
Does
next
the
time.
meme beat the actual movie? The argument.
We'll have to find out next time. But we have today's topic. So welcome to the Pause Button Podcast. Every other week, your four favorite hosts, Pat, Joey, Devontae, and me, along with Tom the Tech Guy, we'll take a topic, delve into its past, discuss its present, and debate its dazzling future. And we'll do our darndest to entertain you along the way. You can expect surprising facts, funny jokes, deeply depressing monologues, and of course unrelated witty banter. So whether you're watching a movie or playing a video game, sit down, shut up, and open your ears. It's time to hit pause.
Tom, you can't interrupt Ryan when he's doing his intro or he hits me.
Oh God.
No one believes that. No one believes that.
Yes, they do. They know it's true. Don't.
Don't you think this is his only time to speak out against the patriarchy that is the Mr. Posma?
We're all men.
Anyway.
Okay, so let's the past segment today of our topic. We're gonna be talking a little about games this summer and how everything's completely different. So everybody knows that at the beginning of June we normally have E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo, and this year it was supposed to take place from June 9th through the 11th in LA as always, but it's been canceled with everything going on. That's obvious. But the big surprise is that the ESA, who hosted the Entertainment Software Association, took the year off. They just went, we're not even going to do it electronically. For the first time in 25 years, the monolith of gaming news, the mecca of releases and reveals, it's just not going to happen. It's just done. So obviously the gaming industry had to do something. So we have 3 big replacements from 3 different outlets and all that, and they decided to go a summer-long approach. So rather than this one weekend of boom, 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 everything all at once, it's spaced out from May through August. So the biggest one that I think is going to have the most reveals and all that is Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest. If you don't know Jeff Keighley, he is the guy who hosts and runs the Video Game Awards in December. The website says that Summer Game Fest is a new, all-digital way to unite the gaming community for a season of video game news and events from game developers and publishers. Summer Game Fest will feature digital news events, playable content, in-game events, and other surprises you can experience for free from the comfort of home. So they've already revealed Unreal Engine 5, which is mostly for developers, but it's kind of cool to see what the graphics and all those little triangles can do in that one trailer with a bunch of rocks sliding down a rock face and this one girl just flying through this really cool Uncharted Indiana Jones style, the ancient rune thing. And then I think they also did the release of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, 1 and 2 remake.
Okay. I mean, I'm pretty excited for that Tony Hawk Pro Skater announcement, but it's
as long as they tweak some of the gameplay, that
they are
exciting.
They said it will feel like it has the mechanics of like the older games. You can do like wall plants, and I think you can get off your board too. But it's going to be like hanger and downhill jam.
Oh wait, are you telling me we're not getting more of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, the super successful game?
Nor are we getting another ride controller. There's no little skateboard that comes with
it.
Damn.
Missing out, man.
I know me and Devontae are pretty sad that no skate announcement has been made.
Yeah, it's not skate. So
I mean, if it does
right.
well, EA might look at that and go, well, maybe we could do a new skate.
There's a lot of faith on EA.
That this leads to success for that game so that we can get remakes of Underground and Underground 2.
Yeah, you read my mind.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's the real one.
Yeah, this is the stepping stone. So the next event is IGN. Of course, they got to do something. Theirs is called Summer of Gaming, which is way too close to the Summer Games Fest, if you ask me. But it's going to be presentations, interviews, demos, and impressions, gameplay, and news segments recapping the biggest announcements. I think the key there is they say recapping. It feels like they're going to be more of like, hey, this got announced, so here's us talking about it. Kind of like in-depth stuff, and they'll bring in developers and publishers to kind of talk about what they presented already.
I mean, I haven't paid attention to IGN in quite some time, so
they haven't done stuff just yet. Although they have said that Ubisoft's going to be there in June before their event that Ubisoft is running in July. So I'm curious to see what they'll have there.
Did you say a date for the first one?
Well, so these are all summer long. So the websites have they'll randomly tweet out like, "Hey, be on the lookout this week Thursday at this time for us to announce this." But right now, it's just kind of like just wait and see. We have no idea when stuff drops. Yeah, it's all just.
It's not like an online event. It's just like we're going to consistently make announcements and leak information.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's a video on demand. Sometimes it's a live stream on Twitch. You wake up Monday morning and you see what's waiting for you.
There you go.
So it's pretty interesting. It's different, The last one's from GameSpot. They call it Play for All. It's not communism, though. It's a summer gaming celebration and charity effort. So they're going to have, I think they said over 100 hours of live and on-demand content. And then they're also doing this charity effort with Direct Relief, it's for COVID and all that, with sites like Giant Bomb, Kind of Funny, and NoClip to kind of. It's cool that they're doing news and then also hey, we're also going to raise money for charity. To kind of do a big both thing together.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, the name's a little close to communism, but
I would disagree, but sure, fine, whatever.
So for our publishers, they obviously miss the E3 stage or have their own events. So EA Play is still happening, same date as always, or that Sunday in June, June 11th or Saturday, I forget what day it is, but it's June 11th at 6 o'clock, at least in Central Time, and it'll be online, and they'll probably reveal a new Star Wars game, or I don't know. I don't really know what's going on at EA. We'll get to see FIFA 2020 and stuff like that.
Yeah, probably.
They Zoom with Pele or something.
It's the only soccer player anyone ever knows.
Yeah. Ronaldo's a guy, and David Beckham.
He is a guy.
I know a couple. Ubisoft, though, they used to have their E3 thing, and now they have something called Ubisoft Forward, which is taking place on July 12th at 2 o'clock Central Time, and that's a Sunday, I know for sure. And I feel like that's when we're going to get the actual Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay, maybe a teaser for Far Cry 6. They're definitely going to rename Rainbow Six Quarantine, because that's a poorly named game before all this happened.
Oof.
Or they doubled down. They might. I don't know.
They may just leave it.
Yeah, double down. That's what I say.
Let it ride.
And of course, other people like Bethesda are just kind of doing nothing. Just kind of Going, all right, well that's how it is.
They're definitely trying to bide their time because every time they make an announcement, they never deliver now, and it's really shitty.
If I remember correctly, it might have been Pete Hines. I forget. I get the two guys from Bethesda goofed up. One of them was talking in an interview and said that you shouldn't expect Elder Scrolls 6 news next year. You should expect it at least in 2022.
Yeah, that
Gross.
Why did you tease it in 2019 or 18, whatever that was?
because they were trying to do anything to desperately get attention.
Pretty much.
Bethesda's like kind of marketing has been really bad recently, and I mean they're still putting out the occasional good game. We had the new Doom come out, and it's been very well received.
Absolutely, yeah.
But they've earned so much ire for their issues with stuff like Fallout 76 that they're just trying to desperately claw at stuff.
Which recently with Fallout 76, I just read back in April on the 23rd, they had a glitch with the NPCs that they introduced last year, where these NPCs are now stealing people's items when they die and are holding on to them forever, and you can't get them back.
That poor company, man. They can't get anything right at
I'll
this
forgive
point.
them if they give me Dishonored 3, though.
You're not going to get Dishonored 3.
No, Dishonored
Well,
3
not.
happened with that one chick or whatever.
Yeah, whatever they
Yes.
called it. You know when
Well,
they do the offshoot?
That was DLC for 2, though.
But
Was it?
it came out and you could play it as its own game. You don't necessarily.
Yeah, you could buy
Yeah,
the
but that's not
disc
Dishonored
itself.
3. Don't lie to me.
I'm
No,
not
I'm
saying
just-
that it is,
You're
but I think that's what
wrong.
they're counting it as that.
I'm just
Well,
saying
hey.
when you get that untitled, like that unnumbered sequel, like God of War Ascension, like that, the franchise is done until they reboot it. That's their or like Uncharted. They had the Uncharted one with the two girls from the series after 4.
But that was good.
That's their. I mean, it could be good, it could be bad, but it's their kind of like encore of like, all right, things are done now until we just reboot this in a couple of years or let it die. So the next one is Microsoft. They have these events called 2020 events. I don't know why they called. Oh, that's the year. Oh my god. It's 20.
no.
It's
Wow.
20/20, like the vision. And they're monthly. We're gonna keep going on. The one in May kind of talked about their third-party games and said they would have gameplay for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which it kind of didn't. So that was weird. But July is going to be about their first-party games, and they now have 15 game studios, including Double Fine, Ninja Theory, and Obsidian. So, and of course Halo. So I feel like we're going to get the console drop definitely by July.
Yeah.
Get to see how all that goes. But of course, not to be outdone, Sony's doing their thing too. They revealed a PlayStation Studios intro thing that will play before all the games that are bundled together under PlayStation Studios, and this is just the closest you can get to an MCU trailer, man. It's Uncharted, it's Horizon, it's Ratchet and Clank, God of War, Last of Us, and Little Big Planet for some reason, like all inside the like PlayStation buttons, the X's and the O's and the squares and all that.
What do you mean for some reason? Little Big Planet's fantastic.
Well,
Yeah, I heard that was a
it's-
good game.
It's a good game, but the last when did Little Big Planet 3 come
I
out?
think they made like 4. I think they made 4 of them.
I heard that only
Yeah.
the first 2 were good, though.
Yes.
Little Big Planet 4 came out in
It was called something else.
2014. No, yeah, I think 2014.
I
No,
always
it was
wanted
3.
to play
They only
that
did
game,
3.
but I never had the means to.
I can give
Yeah,
you the
yeah.
means.
Getting a PlayStation. But the reason I say that
Literally
is
just
that-
give you the means.
The reason I say it though is that the developer created Dreams and they put it out this year. Granted, there's not like a mascot to Dreams, but like it's weird that they would show off their old content if they have a new game this year that's meant to be this like repeating long thing where you can like do anything in there. You can create a whole bunch of
Yeah.
stuff, but it's
Maybe
weird that they
the
didn't feature
trailer
it.
was just showing like they're exclusive. Doesn't mean they're getting a game.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a cool trailer. It's pretty hype if you want to watch it. It's like, oh yeah, let's get PlayStation together. They got a lot of stuff there, including a new franchise that they're gonna launch pretty soon. But before we get to that, Pat, I believe you have a shout out for the people.
Oh, yeah. So my Sunshine shout out today is going to be for Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which should be coming back out as a re-release to Dolby Theaters. I'm sure Joey will be very excited to see that in theaters, right?
Yeah,
And, it's 10-year anniversaries in August.
It's not that I don't like that movie. It's just we watched it like so many times in high school that like it's hard to watch it again.
It never got old.
Joe, would you get tired of breathing and sleeping in your bed or eating lunch?
Okay, you cannot compare those to a Michael
Yeah,
Cera movie.
It's a good movie.
Think of it as a Mary Elizabeth Winstead movie.
Quick side note, what's his name? Edgar Wright was doing a live tweet as he watched the movie and everything, and he revealed that, this shot where the dude jumps through the window? Mm-hmm. His stunt double got that on the first take.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he just, Michael Cera ducked behind the door, and the dude just dove straight through there, first take, and then, nobody laughed. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
All right, but we're not here to talk about Scott Pilgrim. Maybe one day. But right now, the new PlayStation game, other than The Last of Us, the new franchise, probably franchise, is Ghost of Tsushima, which they announced in a state of play, and it's something, man. This game looks like a period piece that is just beautiful beyond measure.
It's a very pretty game. I feel like I would need to have the controller in my hands and be playing the combat to understand how much I'll like it. But it definitely is one of the prettier games I've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a Kurosaka film just put to the screen. It's just you get to see samurais face off in like duels.
It's a Kurosaka film, huh? How many of those films you watched, Brian?
I remember the line from 1 Week where the bare naked ladies mention him.
How many articles use that descriptor? And you were like, yeah, I like that.
A couple. No, so the guy who made the game actually was inspired by Seven Samurai, the film. Nate Fox, the creative director.
I feel like everyone that makes any video game or movie ever is like, Seven Samurai was my inspiration. All of them. Star Wars did that.
Yeah.
Like every anime or comic book, they're like Seven Samurai. It was them.
It's like I made a fantasy world. What's it based on? Well, I'm a little influenced by Tolkien's work. Like, oh, really?
Yeah.
But okay, so the story of this game
First
is
Dates was based on Seven Samurai.
You wouldn't believe it. So the story of this game is not that Drew Barrymore keeps waking up and forgetting everything, but Jin Sakai is one of the last samurai on the island of Tsushima when the Mongols invade in the 1270s. And the evil Mongolian, who's kind of like the main evil dude, is voiced by Patrick Gallagher. He was a security guard in Captain Marvel, a Secret Service agent in My Date with the President's Daughter, and also Attila the Hun in all three Night at the Museum movies.
You had to mention My Date with the President's Daughter.
Oh, I had to get that in there.
Did not.
Gotta reference that. But
Shout out to
obviously,
Will Friedle.
But obviously this game is going to be about ghost stuff. Well, not real ghosts, but like, so you start as a samurai, and then as time goes on, you can kind of transition yourself to become this Ghost of Tsushima, where you're just sneakily killing people without honor and just stabbing them in the back, and
Is it like where there's two options where you can be honorable or?
It's dependent on how you play, apparently, at least.
Gotcha.
So it's depending on how you play. Also how you upgrade things. You can, go about your skill trees and all that. But the big thing is that it's not black and white. He was very clear in some interviews that this game is not, okay, I'm doing the ghost path or I am doing the samurai path. You can dabble in both. You can go in ghost, and then when you get caught, be like,
but I heard at times the game can be black and white.
That is true. The game can, in samurai mode, it's black and white, and it looks dope. It looks really dope.
It does look dope, but you need to play that game in color because it does look extremely pretty.
Yeah, no, I feel like some moments would be good black and white. For the most part, you can do the color mode. The music is great. The composer is a guy named Shigeru Umabayashi, I think is how you pronounce it. And he's been composing music. I tried, man. He's been composing music for Japanese films since the 80s, so he's good. They're going to have Japanese voice actors. They really... This is Nate Fox, is not obviously from Japan, And he talked about how that they brought in experts on religion and costume and like motion and all that. And they visited the island, so they really want to make sure that they're doing a really good job of capturing the culture of Japan back in like the medieval era.
That's good on them. Not just blatantly just going in and being like, oh, we know Japanese people. It's fine. Stick some swords in there.
That could go really bad, absolutely.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the gameplay for a little bit. So it's like a third person open world action adventure stealth game. So it's Assassin's Creed, Batman, Shadow of Mordor style kind of thing. But what I found really interesting in the state of play that they did was that it doesn't look like there's much of a HUD, like even like a map. Like you get a map in the pause screen, but in the real world, you can call the wind to kind of just, you see like the streaks of like white wind, and you just follow it to wherever you marked your map. And like animals will guide you to secrets if you see like little birds or foxes, and you follow them along there.
So it's a little more immersive.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I noticed was that they had a health bar at the bottom and these like yellow circle things, which he's described as like his resolve. I think is the word he used.
It's basically going to be like specials.
Yeah, so you can use it to, I think, heal yourself or use it in powerful attacks, and you kind of have to balance how you want to use it. Energy, kind of, I guess, like the real world version of magic.
I guess. I don't know.
It's a bad way to describe it, but it seems like they really want to be immersive in it. They also, it's not just combat. You're also supposed to help people on the island. You want to be, kind of like there for everybody. They didn't go too much into that, but I don't think I feel like for the most part, you're going to be going around stabbing Mongolians, but for some stuff, you might have to like help people move stuff for their farm or something. Or put out fires or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I will say, though, from the gameplay trailer, it does seem like it's almost old Assassin's Creed. It doesn't seem like it's very hard to kill an enemy.
Oh, okay, so I got two things I wanted to talk about, and you just led straight into both of them. So about not being hard to kill an enemy, he said that enemies have to die within a few strokes of a katana. Otherwise, it's not a katana; it's a Nerf tube. So he wants you to kill people pretty quickly, but also you die in a few hits too. Like these swords are swords, so
cool.
they're gonna you stab, you die.
Considering I never saw the character get hit, and also he kind of deflected arrows, which I thought was a little.
And that's a stereotype
awesome.
of samurais.
It is a stereotype. I think I would have preferred like a giant metal hat that I think some people wear to like block it.
I think that's just used in anime.
Is that just used in anime?
Yeah,
that may be
real.
me. Not
You
I mean, to be
can't-
fair, I don't think cutting arrows was real. Well, no, actually, there are people that can do that in real life. So maybe this is just like a super powerful guy.
You
Maybe.
can't sit here like, oh, that's not realistic. It's not like anime. Like,
I don't know. A giant hat that can deflect arrows seems a little
pretty
more
cool.
real.
hey, it might be in there. We don't know.
Maybe.
They haven't
It's
revealed
just-
everything.
I don't know.
But
That
the
part
second
always
thing,
gets me in games. I don't know why. It bothers me.
So, obviously, I brought up Assassin's Creed. You brought up Assassin's Creed. There's a Forbes article, and it says, in some ways, it's the Assassin's Creed Japan we've all been waiting for, which isn't a bad thing. Granted, it isn't exactly like Assassin's Creed, but the similarities are there. You're basically an assassin, at least one in ghost mode. You're fighting against the invading Mongol horde, which can stand in for the Templar. It's an open world with a major focus on exploring and finding shrines and other points of interest, and it's a period piece rich with culture and history.
Yeah, but
So-
are you in VR?
You are not. It is not a VR game. But is this just
It's
is
not.
it just Assassin's Creed?
No, it's not. If you're not in VR,
It starts with the present world, and you go into this thing that's not the Animus, but is
Yeah.
totally the Animus. I kind of feel like it's gonna scratch the itch of old Assassin's Creed before they redid everything with Origins.
well, also,
and they'll
is
have
this
their
going to
take,
have like
but-
magic in it?
No, there is
Then it's
not going to be
that's
like
definitely
artifacts
not
and all that.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I feel like gameplay wise, you can make some arguments, but there are differences. Like the samurai-ness of it, and just even the weapons that they have in Japan are different than Europe that they've been mostly in for Assassin's Creed.
I don't know. I see it as Assassin's Creed, especially since the big appeal of it is you being a ghost. Like, okay, that's just a different word for
Well,
assassin.
they
in
said you
samurai
can
time.
choose not to play that way, though.
That's true.
Yeah, you can choose, but like, still, the name of it is Ghost. Like,
It
that's
is a
the-
little
that's
weird.
The whole premise of it, like, they want you to probably play like that, but you can choose not to. You probably could just run in and go like all out, which I'm assuming is going to be difficult since you die in like 2 hits. Like, you want to kind of be sneaky the whole game.
Which I probably will do because lately I'm a glutton for punishment in my video games.
It's weird that they offer 2 options and then name the game after one of them. It's like, did you really want? I mean, like, I guess I could go one route, but
like I'm sure, like the run in Leroy Jenkins style is gonna be a lot harder than.
It depends. Because I do think that there is a whole thing about honor in there of like when he charged into the camp as the samurai in the state of play, it was just one-on-one fights. Everybody waited respectfully as they stood off against one another, and it was kind of like they didn't team up on you. It was just you take them down one at a time. But I don't know if every enemy is going to be like
it's
that.
samurai dueling and that whole spiel.
Yeah. Not Dark Souls bullshit.
So who knows? I mean, maybe we'll see. The game's we still got some time before it's out. But the big thing I wanted to mention here, I talked about that Nate Fox guy. So he's been with Sucker Punch since they started with Rocket Robot on Wheels, which was a great game back on PS1 or N64. I think played it on. But he's been wanting to make this game since they were working on Sly Cooper.
Well, I'm glad he
Like back in PlayStation.
Yeah. Yeah, for 14 years or whatever. He's been hoping to make this. And then they did Infamous, and then now he finally gets to make the game that he's wanted. So, pretty cool.
Oh, Infamous. Such a great series.
Absolutely it is. I still got to try it, but it looks cool.
You motherfucker. you can't say things like that when you don't do them.
Yeah, what a great series I've never touched.
Yeah.
All right.
I've played all the games. I didn't even necessarily want the third one, but I tried it just because I was loyal to it. It was okay.
All right. Well, I've got some time to play it because Ghost of Tsushima is due out on July 17th. And you know what else is coming out on July 17th?
What?
Yeah.
The future game of the year, Paper Mario: The Origami King.
Don't say that yet.
Yeah, I mean, Paper Mario series has a complicated history.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. So, speaking of history, Nintendo was supposed to have a June Direct that they would have dropped during E3 and all that, and they pushed it back to nobody knows when, because they said that working at home is kind of slowing things down, which is fair, So this trailer just kind of dropped on a random Thursday. It was like, boom, Paper Mario is coming, and in 2 months, here we go, like crazy. So, you guys want to jump into the story of this game first?
Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Wait. Do they move Peach's castle? Does Peach get captured? But
What?
does Bowser work with Mario? He does.
He's done that in a couple. What?
Yeah, that's true. He did that in Super Paper Mario.
Yeah.
But there's origami stuff. The trailer says an origami plot unfolds, so that's cool. The King Ollie comes in and starts bending people left and right. All of Bowser's minions get bent and go against him, and a military coup. And the game's supposed to be comedy filled. And the interesting thing that I saw is that the main website says that Luigi and Mario go to the castle with this invitation. So where's Luigi at when you get to that first scene of, you falling down the hole and Princess Peach being like, let's get folded and,
Off done Luigi stuff like he usually does in all the games.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'd love for him to keep showing up with a random partner just like he did in Thousand Year Door.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind playing as him, though. I think that'd be cool if you could play as him sometimes.
I think the Super Mario one, you could play as him, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So.
No,
go ahead.
Right, yeah. But the thing I wanted to mention with the story is, how the castle gets wrapped in those streamers, the colorful ones that come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's 5 of them. In one of the screenshots, you can see the red streamer going across the background. So my guess is that there's going to be 5 different locations you have to go to kind of like undo these streaming things.
That makes sense.
As far as gameplay goes, this is where the big topic comes in of combat. So the turn-based system's still there, but they added this new ring thing because they always got to shake it up. If it ain't broke, you're gonna fix it, and then people go like, "This is better than it was before, I guess." So I'll take it. Sure. What do you guys think of this ring thing?
I got to see it in practice a little more because we've only seen it really in a couple shots of the trailer, right?
Yeah.
They were
just
really
like the
sneaky
Goombas,
about
that's
it. Really sneaky.
So I need to see it in practice more before I can make a decision. I've heard that because I never actually played the Paper Mario series. I hope to because there's all these rumors of re-releases.
Don't even get my hopes up.
And I've heard that was a big part of what made it so much fun was the turn-based combat and how different that is from the other Mario games. So the fact that going back to that is great, but it sounds like they wanted to tweak it, and yeah, we'll see.
They are definitely if it's something old, they have to change it for the sake of changing it. But so the big complaint that a lot of people have had with the past entries with Sticker Star and Color Splash was that you had to use these cards or stickers to attack, and they were like usable, almost like Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, where you use that card up and it's gone. And in this one, I've watched a lot of people react to it. I tried to get as much information as I could about the combat. There is in the menu a cheer command and an item section. So if there's an item section, that means that you have to be able to use items, right? Which would separate them from the other attacks. So hopefully there's no like stickers or cards you have to collect to attack. You can just do it. Does that sound like a fair assumption?
I think the assumption is it seems like the combat is Thousand Year Door, just 3D with the dartboard.
That's what it looks like. The cheer command's there, so the audience is back, and if you can cheer, you're powering up something, right? So did they come up with a new, like, did they call it Star Power before?
In the original, like the first one.
Yeah, so they might have, brought it back or changed the name or something.
I don't know. I don't believe it, because in the trailers of Sticker Star, like, they kind of, like, didn't show that you had to collect these stickers to use them. Even though, like, I know you see that there's items and stuff, but even, like, in the new trailer, it shows what boots he's wearing when he's stepping on things. So but it's like... No, it's comparing this to Sticker Star. They did the same thing as Sticker Star, and people thought that was like, oh, that's just the one he has equipped. No, that's something he's actually using. So it's like, I'm not going to believe it just because they put out a pretty trailer. These last two games, I mean, Color Splash actually was pretty hilarious, minus the gameplay of it.
Okay.
Sticker Star was absolute crap because like you had to find a specific sticker to beat a boss, and they didn't tell you until you lost to the boss 3 times. But yeah, I was like, I'm not going to believe it until I play it.
That's fair. When I saw the shiny boots thing in there, I thought it was a badge or something like a badge, but I didn't think of it as you found this one-use power-up that will go away.
Right, yeah, we didn't see the beginning of it. We saw him in the middle of a combat already.
You got me worried.
I mean, I just don't get your hopes up. Like, these Paper Mario series have not been good since the last 2 console releases. The best Paper Mario game they had was Mario & Luigi Paper Jam, and he was a side character. Yeah,
it's been a while since we had something good. But maybe the adventuring stuff in this game looks cool. There's the clip of him riding in a boot with wheels. He's in a boat, and one of the commands says dive, so the boat can go underwater. The world looks colorful and very unique. They got like the Egyptian ruins and like that Vegas-style town with all the bright lights.
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna be a pretty good game. As long as they get the combat down, because I think it's gonna be weird when you're facing that many enemies and trying to line them up, and you can do line attacks like you're the Koopa from, the first Paper Mario.
Yeah.
The whole time. But I don't know. We'll see. Because I don't have my hopes up. I think it'll be a decent game, but I don't know if it's gonna live up to the first 3 that they had.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to... You can't talk about this game without comparing it to its past. There's a lot of, there's just too much weight there. The franchise is such a big... I don't want to say, dark history, but, it feels like we've been in a drought for games for a while now. Another comparison that I've seen is that the original games had, a hub world, whether that was, Mushroom Kingdom or Rogueport, and then when things got on, they just added a world map, almost like Super Mario World, or where they just kind of go point to point along that map there. But if you look at the Toad Town in front of the castle, there's docks there, there's a cable car, there's a path, and one of the scenes later is Mario riding in a cable car. So is this going to be a hub world where you can kind of go from one area to the next and always go back there? And because I feel like that kind of would at least help make it feel closer to its roots.
I mean,
hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. It seems like toads are playing a big part in this story, what with the Egyptian hieroglyphics of tall toads.
What is with that? That looks real weird. You guys see that?
It does look
weird. I mean, I think they're trying to follow off Color Splash when Toads made a big deal in Color Splash too.
Well, so speaking of Toads, it looks like you get it might get partners in this, maybe, but they're not very unique. So you can kind of see Bowser, who's all bent up, and Olivia, who's King Ollie's sister, with you. But there's also there's like a Bomb-Omb that goes with you. There's a Toad, a Shy Guy, and the Toad kind of changes. Sometimes he's in like an adventuring cap. Sometimes he's wearing like one of those like rice farmer hats. And another one, there's just Toads with no faces, which looks very creepy. I don't know what's going on, man. This game, but the big thing I want to mention here is there's a Chinese trailer for this game, and Nintendo has since taken it down. But in that trailer, there's a footage of Mario in the circle thing in the combat, and Toad is with him. So it's like, does the partner help out in battle? Do they get to fight too again? Because if they bring that, let's go.
I think so.
It might be temporary, depending on what world you go to.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
you might have those temporary.
It looks like that. Yeah, where obviously in the Egyptian world with all the Toad hieroglyphics, that guy with the adventuring hat kind of goes with you, and then the cable car. I saw one person tweet this out. If my Final Fantasy people can confirm it, that'd be great. Is the Bomb-Omb in the cable car saying "me" while I'm Bomb-Omb a reference to Barrett?
Wait, what did he say?
I thought he said I'm Bob-Omb.
Yeah. So here, let me pull this up, and then I'm gonna share my screen. It's a comparison of the two. Oh, I can't share my screen. Okay, so it's a shot of you know the shot where they're in the cable car and he says me, well, I'm Bomb-Omb, and then below that is a picture of the original Final Fantasy VII, where it's it's Cloud and Barrett sitting next to each other, and Barrett's saying me, well, I'm Barrett. I don't know if they photoshopped that or if that's an actual thing that happened in the game, but
I don't remember. I just replayed through them meeting each other the whole time too, so I don't remember. it didn't stick out for me enough to be like, oh yeah, that's a reference. It just thought of as him introducing himself.
Because it would be weird for Nintendo to randomly reference a Final Fantasy VII game in Paper Mario.
It would, yeah. That would
a little uncalled for.
I don't compare Mario and Cloud a lot, so I mean they can't fight each other now in Smash, but
all right. So we got to talk just to sum this up. What things do you want from the franchise in the past to be there, and what things do you hope from the franchise not to be there? Like what Color Splash and Sticker Star stuff do you not want? What Thousand Year Door and original stuff do you want in there?
As long as they don't limit you in combat, I think everything is fine.
The card item system that basically allows you to attack, I hope that doesn't make it into the game. If it is. I just want it to be attacks like Thousand Year Door. But that's just me.
Based on what I've heard other people say, I would ultimately agree with Tom. Just like I said, I haven't really played much of the series, even though I want to. It sounds like I would very much like for it to lean back to its old systems and get rid of those weird additions.
I knew that those two games kind of weren't great, but I never played them. When I looked back at it, I was blown away to see that they didn't have a leveling up system. Where's my sense of progression? I really hope that that's in this game. That's the one thing I think I would need, other than the normal combat.
But is leveling up a Mario staple?
I mean, it's hard to argue at this point because this franchise is now perfectly split, where they've had two games that were very similar to each other, and then two games that were similar to each other, very different. And which one is, kind of what the franchise is? Is it its roots, or is it what it's been currently, or are they going to do something in the future that's just a mix of both? A lot of people have been guessing that it's the mix of both. And, I mean, I don't want, Thousand Year Door Part 2. I'm okay with innovation. This ring thing looks cool. Create new stuff. That's all fine and good. But when you start doing new stuff just because it's new, that's where you kind of lose me of it's not as good as it used to be. If it's still good, you don't need to change it. You can add in new stuff if you come up with a new fun idea, but just because something from the past is still there, doesn't mean you have to replace it.
I see your point.
Are there any powers that you guys are hoping to see? Any origami ideas? Some swans, some frogs, I don't know.
So they've had that. I don't think we're going to get much, because, in Thousand Year Door is the biggest thing for me. I played the original, but I spent a lot of time in Thousand Year Door, and they have the the paper airplane and the rolling tube, and you go sideways and fit through cracks. This one looks like you just have these things called 1,000-fold arms, but it looks like you use them in unique ways. So it's kind of like, instead of doing like the boat transformation you did in Thousand Year Door, you used it to cross water, and that's it. This, it kind of looks like you're going to use this one thing in a lot of different ways to solve puzzles. So I kind of like that.
I'd like to make a bunch of cranes for the victims of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Oh
My God.
Oh,
That
no!
that
I don't know, man.
That book used to make me cry when I was little.
Which book was that?
I can't remember its name. I just remember it was the one about the classmates making the cranes for the girl.
Oh, I never read that.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
really?
never heard of that.
No. I thought it was read to us at St. John Fisher.
Oh.
So
Was it like a true story, or was that just...
yeah, if I remember correctly, it was based on a true story.
Very interesting.
You guys want to talk about that for a little bit?
No, I want to... I was like, oh boy.
That's about where that is.
Jokes are best when you explain them to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. That's our philosophy here.
The best part was that I assumed naturally that everyone had heard that story. And then everyone was like, what is he talking about? Cranes and bringing up Hiroshima and Nagasaki now?
So I would love to talk about this article that I read where someone went in depth about the logistics of where is the Paper Mario universe in comparison to the normal Paper Mario universe, and they brought up facts from other games, and it was this whole deep dive into a rabbit hole I didn't need to. But I feel like we don't need to go there. So how do you want to sum this up, the Paper Mario discussion? What's any closing remarks you got?
I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. Nintendo's been on kind of a roll. I mean, they haven't had much going on lately, but most of their games in recent years they've been hyping up have been pretty big successes. So here's hoping there's something new coming in that'll get people's attention off of Animal Crossing. I know next week we got BioShock on Switch, don't we?
Yeah, that's coming out with they're doing the Borderlands remakes with that too, right?
Watch our
Or
BioShock
remasters.
episode.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Absolutely. But so that was the present segment. Those two games are coming out on July 17th. So let's talk about our future. I am blown away that this console cycle is so stacked at the end. Like, we've had some good games and all that, but if you think just about PlayStation 4, The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Cyberpunk 2077, and Avengers if it's good, like, are all coming out in the last months of PlayStation 4.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of is how it happened last gen, though, too, right? With PlayStation 3 releasing, like, Last of Us and us getting GTA 5, and, like, there's a lot of big games. There's usually a lot of big games that come out right before we switch to the next console.
And then we can all get our remasters.
Yes.
When is the next one supposed to come out?
Supposedly, everything going on has not affected the releases, so PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X should be out in the holiday season.
Wow.
Whoa.
This year. They say. I don't know.
Man, and I'll go back to being antiquated again.
No, I ain't buying that, man.
Well, no, I
yet.
think a lot of our friends are switching over to PC, so...
That's true.
I will still remain loyal to everything and buy everything and play everything.
I mean,
I probably will eventually. It's just going to take some time.
Yeah.
The Series X is
But
basically just a
for me,
PC
I
anyway.
enjoy single-player games a lot, and there's going to be console exclusives, so...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wanna
PlayStation's
pull
got a
out.
lot there. So how do you think these games are going to do, critically and commercially?
I think they're going to... specifically, I think Paper Mario will do very well, even if it ends up not being a great game, because people have a lot of nostalgia for the series, because the Switch has just been a consistent success with every new big game they hype up selling well. Ghost of Tsushima has a lot of hype behind it, but I think we'll need to wait and see reviews first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
it
the
could turn
trailer
out-
looks really good, but...
Yeah, it could turn out to be pretty, but boring.
And that would be awful. Because it does look like art and all that, but if the gameplay's not that good, then it'll go straight down. My guess is that Ghost of Tsushima will go in about like a 9 out of 10, with some people going down to like a 7 or so.
Well, a lot of people are
again,
going to
that's-
compare that to Sekiro, and so that's probably going to bring down its rating.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, that's true.
They'll compare it to Sekiro despite being completely different types of games.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which is a shame. But
samurai motif.
All samurai, yeah, exactly. All samurai games apparently have to be compared to other samurai games. But I agree with you.
I mean, if you're talking about comparisons, like Origami King is going to be compared so much. So I got the numbers here for like the whole franchise for Paper Mario, and the first couple sold about 1 or 2 million. A Super Paper Mario sold 4 million because the Wii was the Wii, but Color Splash sold 186,000 copies. Yeah, like a tenth or a 20th of what some of the other, or even a 40th of what the other ones did. I mean, that was on the Wii U, so, the amount of people that could buy it was still really low because the Wii U was the Wii U. But, oh my god, man. It can only go up, right? This game can't sell just 100,000 copies and stop there.
I would imagine, yeah.
But I feel like it's important to note, Pat was kind of talking about Nintendo and all that. So, outside of Paper Mario, I think Xenoblade Chronicles and Bravely Default 2, the Switch is kind of open this year. We don't have much to look forward to other than these games.
I wouldn't be surprised if we got a couple of surprises, but yeah.
I mean, supposedly those Mario rumors are true, so that's got to be dropping sometime.
There's been some rumors of Dishonored 1 and 2 on Switch.
Oh,
ports,
yeah.
Which I would be pretty pumped for. Just give us more ports, but they've already shown Bethesda's willing to, and they've talked about how they want to port some stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if we get the Dishonored series. I feel like that'd be a pretty easy port.
And those games deserve it. They're really good games.
Yeah. But as far as Nintendo, first-party games, that's a little more complicated. I wouldn't know for certain that we have anything big on the horizon.
Do you think
Pokemon DLC?
Yeah. Do you think the the Samus helmet at the end of the Paper Mario trailer was a reference to Metroid Prime 4 coming out?
Probably not, because didn't they have to start the game from scratch a year ago?
Yeah.
They scrapped it a year or two ago, yeah.
Sad.
Big yikes to that one, guys.
Yep.
Hey, maybe we'll get Cooking Mama after that whole thing. Did you see that?
Mama, that'd be great. That was a whole thing.
That was the most convoluted, weird, shit I've ever seen.
Just go look up the Cooking Mama news. That game release was fucked. There's no other word to describe it. It's a whole shit show, man. All right, I got one last question for you guys. Let's pretend it is July 17th, and I don't know, you've been laid off, and with your last $60, you can only buy one of these games. Which one is it?
Yikes. Ugh. Based on just right now, I'm gonna say Paper Mario because Nintendo hits me in my wallet real good.
I need a break from the punishment of all the games I've been playing, like Hollow Knight, Dark Souls, Ori and the Blind Forest on the hardest difficulty, and the Will of the Wisps. I'm sorry, different game. So probably Paper Mario. I need some joy in my life. It's colorful. It's bright. It's fucking Mario. Can't go wrong.
Yeah,
I kind of want to go with the Ghost of Tsushima one. I think that seems interesting. I know absolutely nothing about it. I don't even own a PS4.
Well, we don't either, so it's perfect. If you need to borrow a PS4, I will allow it. Because I don't really use it that much. So
I appreciate it. I don't know if I'll go that far, but that just seems like a cool game. I googled it while you guys were talking about it. It seems very does seem very pretty, like you guys were saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They put a lot into the art. Yeah, I think I don't know. I mean, I based on hope, I got to go off of Paper Mario, just because Thousand Year Door is one of my favorite games of all time, and if it's even close to it, then let's go. I'm 100% in. But if it's just like a redoing of the Color Splash style thing, then I won't touch that game with a 10-foot pole.
Fair.
Or the 6-foot pole that I recently created for social distancing to measure it out. All right, but I feel like we can wrap it up there. So let us know what you thought, which game you think is going to be the better one or is worth buying and all that. We're on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow us there. Of course, a reminder that we're going to be on streaming soon, so look for us on Twitch in the future. And then we do have our listening goals. If we get one episode that gets 40 listens, we're going to do a drunk episode, which we're really close to. We've had some that are getting really close to 40. And if we get 20 subscriptions on YouTube, we'll do a video episode. We're at 10 right now, and we would love to show you our pretty faces. So share this episode with somebody, talk about it, and let people know. But overall, thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate your viewership and all that, or listening ship. But Tom, what's our next topic?
Our next topic is going to be how my sadism continues, because I know I said I needed a break, but I'm probably going to try Sekiro next and rip my hair out and join you in the ball.
Pretty sure that's masochism.
I don't remember. They're all the same.
Either way,
yeah,
right,
I think
man.
masochism definitely.
The yeah,
Exactly.
they're opposites. They're not the same.
I read books. I
Not
know
enough.
these words.
Go read 50 Shades of Grey, Tom.
Oof. Oh, God. That's...
Oh no!
I don't know how I feel about
Tom's
that burn.
Tom's gonna go and read 50 Shades of Grey.
Just out of spite. Just be like, I can tell you what Mr. Grey is all about.
But
Give
until
us a
then,
review on the next episode.
I don't.
And now it's time to hit pause.
Yeah.